You don't need another dramatic goal to change your life. You need a system that doesn't collapse. The moment you feel tired, stressed, or unmotivated, most people live in a loop. They get inspired. Set big goals. Write plans. Feel unstoppable for a week, then life gets messy. Work piles up. Emotions kick in. Old habits return. And they blame themselves instead of blaming the broken system they were using. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. A goal is a wish on paper. A system is a structure in your day, your habits, and your identity. A goal says, I want to be successful. A system says, every day, I do the work that makes success unavoidable. In this Napoleon Hill inspired audio, you won't just be hyped for a few minutes and left with the same patterns. You will learn how to design a simple, powerful life system that works even when motivation is gone, protects your focus from distraction and chaos, turns small, daily actions into long-term transformation. If you're tired of starting over, tired of feeling guilty, all tired of writing goals you never live, this is where everything changes. From today forward, we stop chasing goals. We start building systems, the quiet, unshakable structure that will change your life. One day at a time. You don't shape your life through dreams. You shape it through the actions you repeat every single day. That's where real change begins, not in big visions, but in small decisions made today. Most people say they want a better life, but their actions tell a different story. They want to be healthy, yet they prioritize comfort over discipline. They want financial freedom, yet they waste time like it has no value. They want peace, yet they feed their minds with noise and stress every day. Their problem isn't their ambition. Their problem is their system of daily behavior that does not match the life they claim to want. Real transformation begins when you start asking yourself, what does the life I want require from me today? Not what you prefer, not what feels easy, but what the future you are chasing demands right now. If you want health, the life you want demands that you treat your body with respect. If you want wealth, the life you want demands that you protect your time like a valuable asset. If you want peace, the life you want demands that you stop feeding your mind emotional junk. You don't get the life you talk about. You get the life your actions prove you're working for. A strong system doesn't need to be intense. It only needs to be aligned. You don't have to change everything. You just have to change your direction. Don't wait to start with the perfect plan. Start with the next right action. If you want peace, don't reach for your phone the moment you wake up. If you want strength, begin with just 10 minutes of movement a day. If you want success, stop saying later and take one step now. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right thing next. It's not intensity that changes your life. It's consistent alignment. Look at your mornings. Look at how you spend your time. Look at where your energy goes. Those aren't just habits, they're proof of who you are becoming. Every action either pulls you toward your future or drags you back into your past. Every choice is a vote for the life you're building. You're never stuck. You're just casting the wrong votes. Growth doesn't start with inspiration. It starts with behavior that matches your values. Don't dream more. Live more in alignment with the life you want. Starting today, you can't build a life you love by fighting yourself every day. You can force a habit for a week, maybe a month, but if it doesn't fit who you are, you won't keep it. And the habits you don't keep are the ones that never change you. Real transformation doesn't come from pressure. It comes from patterns you can live with. The reason most people fail isn't because they're lazy or weak. It's because they try to build their life around someone else's discipline. They copy routines they found online. They force schedules that don't match their energy. They try to become a perfect version of themselves before they ever understand who they are right now. You're not supposed to live someone else's system. You're supposed to design your own. A system that feels like support, not punishment. A routine that feels natural, not exhausting. If your habits feel heavy, you won't stick to them. If your system feels rigid, you'll avoid it. And you won't avoid it because you don't care. You'll avoid it because it doesn't fit who you are. Progress isn't about pushing harder. It's about building patterns that pull you forward. Start with your reality, not your ideal. What do your days look like right now? When do you naturally feel motivated? What time of day do you think best? When is your brain tired? What activities drain you? What refuels you? You can't build a strong system unless you know yourself first. It's better to design a small routine that fits your life than a perfect routine you'll never keep. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. if your creativity comes alive at night. You don't need to read 20 pages a day if you get more value from 5 minutes of focused reflection. You don't need a 2-hour morning routine if a quiet 5 minutes gives you more clarity than anything else. There are no universal rules. Ignore the trends. Find what works for you. Use your existing patterns to your advantage. You don't always need to add new habits. Sometimes you just need to attach meaning to the habits you already have. If you drink coffee every morning, use that moment to set your priorities. If you walk in the evening, use it as reflection time instead of scrolling your phone. If you sit in silence for a few minutes before bed, turn it into a reset ritual. Ask yourself, what did I do today that helped my future? You're not trying to change your entire life. You're simply upgrading what you already do. That's how habits stay. That's how systems become part of who you are. Your system should make life easier, not harder. A good system reduces stress. It reduces overthinking. It reduces decision fatigue. It gives your brain clarity instead of chaos. You shouldn't feel punished by your routine. You should feel supported by it. You should feel like your system is carrying you on the days you don't have strength, motivation, or energy. That's what a real system is built for. Not for your best days, but for your hardest ones. Build rhythm, not perfection. Consistency doesn't come from intensity. It comes from rhythm, a flow that feels natural, a pace you can sustain, a routine that bends when life gets messy but doesn't break. Your habits don't need to be impressive. They need to be repeatable. Your system doesn't need to be strict. It needs to be supportive. And your progress doesn't need to be dramatic. It needs to be real. When your habits feel natural, you stop trying to stay disciplined. You simply live. You don't force change. You become the change, one natural pattern at a time. Most people aren't tired because life is too hard. They're tired because they're trying to fix their entire life at once. They carry the weight of every mistake they've made. They worry about problems they haven't even lived yet. They try to become their future self overnight, and then they break under the pressure. Your mind wasn't designed to carry your whole life in a single day. It was designed to handle one day at a time. That's where peace lives. Not in the future, not in the past, but in today. The more you try to control the future, the more powerless you feel. You can't solve 3 years from now. You can't erase yesterday. You can't jump to the finish line of your life. You only have power over one moment, the one you're in. When you stop trying to win a lifetime in a single step, your stress begins to fade. You don't need to plan your entire journey. You just need to take the next correct step. Your progress doesn't come from thinking about what you want. It comes from doing what matters now. Ask yourself a better question. What does today need from me? Not what the whole month needs. Not what your 5-year plan demands. Just today. If you want better health, don't obsess over a full transformation. Ask, what's one healthy decision I can make today? If you want financial strength, don't try to become wealthy overnight. Ask, what's one smart choice I can make with my money today? If you want emotional peace, don't try to erase every stress in your life. Ask, what's one thing I can stop reacting to today? One choice, one action, one day. That's how you build a future that actually lasts. You don't need a perfect day. You need an honest one. Some days you will have a lot to give energy, focus, confidence. Other days you won't. That's normal. On those low days, don't force greatness. Don't chase perfection. Just give what you can. Give the honest amount. Maybe today your win is a full workout. Maybe today your win is simply getting outside and moving for 10 minutes. Maybe today you conquer your whole to-do list. Maybe today your win is completing one meaningful task with intention. There's no shame in doing less on heavy days. There's power in doing something. The right effort counts more than the maximum effort. Consistency without pressure builds confidence. You'll notice something powerful. When you stop demanding perfection, you begin to trust yourself more. You stop waking up feeling behind. You stop keeping score of what you failed to do. You start feeling proud of what you did do. Progress isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, steady, repeated, one day at a time. You don't need a breakthrough moment. You just need more days where you show up, not perfectly, but fully present. Make today small enough to manage, but important enough to matter. A short walk, a focused hour of work, a moment of stillness, a healthy meal, 10 minutes of learning, a decision to say no to drama, a decision to say yes to responsibility. Those small actions aren't small. They're foundations. You don't build a strong life by thinking big. You build it by acting small repeatedly. Let today be the only battle you choose. Not tomorrow, not next week, not your entire future. Protect your energy by narrowing your focus. Win today. And if today doesn't go the way you hoped, reset, not with self-criticism, but with self-respect. You're not building perfection. You're building consistency. And consistency is built one day at a time. Tomorrow will thank you for what you decide to do today. When your mind is overloaded, nothing feels simple. Even small decisions feel heavy. You can't think clearly. You can't focus, and you struggle to take action not because you're weak, but because your brain is running without a plan. You don't need more motivation when your mind feels overwhelmed. You need less chaos. You need systems that remove stress before it shows up. Overwhelm doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from trying to manage everything in your head. Your brain was not designed to store your whole life. It was designed to solve one thing at a time. A system takes the pressure off your brain. It decides the basics for you so your mind can breathe. A system saves energy by reducing decisions, Most stress comes from constant thinking. What should I do first? What should I eat? Should I work or rest? When should I start? When should I stop? Every decision drains your mental energy. When you design systems, you make fewer choices. Life becomes lighter. Not because it's easier, but because it's clearer. Imagine waking up and not having to figure out your entire day. You already know your morning flow. You already know your top tasks. You already know what matters most. That's what a system provides: clarity without effort. Start with the areas that drain you the most. Don't try to organize your whole life. Pick one area that creates the most mental stress: chaotic mornings, unpredictable work, unhealthy eating, disorganized finances, constant distraction, emotional overwhelm. Design a small system for that one area. If mornings are stressful, create a simple routine. Wake up, stretch water, priority. Check, begin. If distractions are ruining your focus, set fixed phone-free hours. If meals are chaotic, plan them once a week. Don't build big systems. Build systems that remove friction. A strong system feels supportive, not restrictive. Your routine shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel like help. If a system is too complicated, too strict, or too heavy, it becomes another source of stress. Simplicity is a superpower. A system should reduce decisions, reduce uncertainty, reduce emotional noise, reduce scrambling. It should make your life calmer, not busier. Let structure give you freedom. Most people think freedom means no routine, but freedom actually comes from clarity. When your priorities are clear, your mind relaxes. When your schedule has rhythm, your brain doesn't panic. When your habits take over, your energy flows into what matters. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. Freedom is not being controlled by chaos. Build systems that bring peace, not pressure. Your goal is not to manage everything. Your goal is to create a daily flow that carries you, especially on stressful days. You don't need to control your whole life. You just need systems strong enough to hold you when your mind feels overwhelmed. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Most people don't fail because they don't have big dreams. They fail because they keep repeating small habits that work against those dreams. Everyone loves the idea of transformation, the new body, the bigger paycheck, the better life, but results don't come from inspiration. They come from repetition. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your patterns, and if your patterns don't change, your life won't change either. Results don't reward desire. They reward consistency. You can write the best goals in the world. You can vision board your future, shout affirmations, and plan your success in perfect detail. But if your daily habits stay the same, your results will stay the same. A goal without repetition is just an idea, nothing more. If you're not getting what you want, it's not because you don't want it enough. It's because your patterns are not built to create it. Look at your life honestly. What are you repeating? Not what you wish you did. Not what you promise yourself every January. What do you do when you're tired? What do you do when you're stressed? What do you do when no one is watching? Because that is who you are becoming. Maybe you repeat scrolling instead of learning, reacting instead of planning, avoiding instead of trying, spending instead of investing, working at random instead of with intention, numbing your stress instead of facing it. These habits may feel small, but repetition gives them power. A small habit repeated daily is stronger than a big goal you never follow. Your life is built by what you do often, not by what you do occasionally. You don't need more discipline. You need better defaults. Most people try to fix their life with willpower. They try to push harder. But discipline doesn't start in the moment of decision. It starts in the system that surrounds you. You don't need to fight your bad habits. You need to replace them with easier, better ones. If you keep scrolling, set a phone-free hour. If you skip workouts, choose a 10-minute routine instead of a 1-hour plan. If you overspend, automate your savings before you ever see the money. If you keep eating out, prep the basics once a week so the choice becomes obvious. Don't try to overpower your habits. Out-design them. Replace resistance with structure. Replace emotion with clarity. Replace willpower with systems. Lasting results come from identity, not effort. If you try to change your life for the result, you'll eventually quit. But if you change because it aligns with who you want to be, you'll stay with it. A person who sees themselves as someone who takes care of their mind and body won't try to work out. They'll move because it's part of who they are. A person who values financial security won't try to save money. They'll protect their wealth because it reflects their identity. Your actions should match your standards, not your moods. Forget chasing outcomes. Build the identity that naturally produces them. Your patterns are the real measurement of your future. Don't ask, how fast can I get results? Ask, what am I repeating today that builds a result I'll be proud of? You don't need a better dream. You need better habits. Fix what you repeat, and the future you want will stop being a goal and start becoming your reality. You can't build a better life by waiting for big breakthroughs. Big changes are rare. Big wins are unpredictable. If you depend on motivation from massive achievement, you'll spend most of your life feeling behind. The real shift happens when your brain starts craving progress, not perfection. Small wins, not dramatic victories. Your mind responds to what you reward. It remembers what feels good, what gives relief, what brings comfort. And for most people, the things that feel good are the very things that keep them stuck. Distraction, scrolling, comfort eating, avoiding discomfort, choosing the easy way out, not because they don't care, but because they haven't trained their brain to value anything else. But here's the truth. You can retrain your mind. You can teach it to crave growth over escape. You can wire it to desire the feeling of progress, not someday, but every single day. And you do that through small victories. Small wins aren't small. They're chemical. Your brain releases dopamine when you complete a task, not a perfect task, not a massive accomplishment. Any task. Finish something. And your brain rewards you with energy, confidence, and clarity. This means small wins are not just psychological, they're biological. Every time you drink water instead of soda, read for 5 minutes, walk for 10 minutes, stay calm in a stressful moment, choose focus over distraction, you send a message to your brain. Progress feels good. Once your brain starts linking effort with reward, your habits become easier. Motivation becomes steady. You don't chase dopamine from distraction, you earn it through discipline. This is how high performers are built, not from intensity, from daily wins that build trust. You don't need big goals. You need daily evidence. Most people wait for major progress before they feel proud. They wait for huge results before they get confident. But that creates a dangerous cycle because your brain can't survive on delayed rewards forever. You need proof today. You need to see yourself following through today. If you want confidence, don't wait for the finish line. Gain confidence from keeping small promises to yourself. Make your bed and let it count. Finish a 15-minute project and let it count. Drink water before coffee and let it count. Say no to something that drains you and let it count. Small doesn't mean insignificant. Small means repeatable. What's repeatable becomes reliable. What's reliable becomes identity. Your brain needs recognition, not perfection. One reason people lose motivation is simple. They ignore their progress. They finish a task and immediately rush to the next one. They follow through, then they downplay it. They succeed, then they call it not enough. When you ignore your effort, your brain receives no reward, no recognition, no dopamine, just pressure. So your mind stops chasing growth. It goes back to chasing comfort. To change this, you don't need to reward yourself with treats or laziness. You just need to acknowledge the win. Take 5 seconds after you complete something and say to yourself, I did that. Good job showing up. That counted. You're not bragging, you're training your brain to care. Build a system of daily wins. Don't hope for progress. Design it. Pick 2-3 daily actions that are simple, repeatable, aligned with your future. And every time you complete one, pause it. Acknowledge it and move forward. That pause is your power. That recognition is the spark. That small win is your foundation. Over time, your brain stops craving escape. It stops searching for quick relief. It starts wanting the feeling of progress. You won't need hype. You won't need motivation. You won't need discipline to show up. You'll show up because it feels good to win. Not someday. Today and every day. Small wins build big lives. Stack them daily. And your brain will take you everywhere you want to go. Most people wait for the perfect feeling before they take action. They wait to feel confident before they speak up. They wait to feel motivated before they start working. They wait to feel ready before they begin. But waiting to feel right is the fastest way to stay stuck. Feelings are unpredictable. They depend on sleep, on stress, weather, hormones, opinions, distractions, and random thoughts. If you let your emotion decide your actions, your life will constantly be delayed. Real growth has nothing to do with how you feel. It has everything to do with what you do despite your feelings. You don't need to feel motivated to act. You need to act so that motivation has a reason to show up. Action changes emotions, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel energized before you exercise. You exercise, and then the energy comes. You don't wait to feel confident before you take a risk. You take the risk, and then confidence follows. You don't wait until you're inspired to work. You work, and then inspiration appears. Movement creates the mindset you're looking for. If you wait for the right emotion, you'll never show up. If you show up, the right emotions start to follow. This is the real formula. Action, identity, emotion, not the other way around. You don't become disciplined because you feel disciplined. You become disciplined because you take disciplined action. Stop obeying your feelings. Start leading them. Every time you act only when you feel like it, you train your brain to believe that your emotions are in control. If you skip work because you're tired, your brain learns. Tired means we do nothing. If you choose distraction when you're stressed, your brain learns. Stress means escape. If you wait for confidence before you commit, your brain learns. We only act when we're safe. That's how people get stuck, not from lack of talent, but from giving their emotions authority. Now imagine the opposite. You act when you're tired. You do the task when you're stressed. You show up even when you're afraid. Your brain learns a new rule. We move anyway. That's power. That's leadership over yourself. Discipline isn't about feeling strong. It's about staying consistent. You won't always feel positive. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel your best. But you can always do something that aligns with the life you want to build. You don't need perfect effort. You need honest effort. If you don't have 1 hour, give 20 minutes. If you don't have 20 minutes, give 5. If you don't have 5 minutes, do the smallest step you can do now. 1 push-up is better than waiting for the perfect workout. 2 pages read is better than waiting for the perfect study session. $10 saved is better than waiting for the perfect financial plan. Small action beats big emotion every time. You are not your feelings. You are what you repeatedly choose. Your feelings are temporary. Your choices become your life. You don't need a perfect mindset to make progress. You need repeated actions that build trust. Show up first. Let your emotions catch up later. Confidence is built by follow-through. Clarity is built by showing up. Strength is built by doing it anyway. The future version of you isn't waiting to feel amazing. That version of you is simply doing what matters with or without the mood for it. Lead your actions, and your feelings will eventually respect you. Obey your feelings, and your life will always be controlled by them. Do what's right, especially when you don't feel like it. That's how you change your life. Not by thinking differently, but by doing differently. Overthinking doesn't come from having too many problems. It comes from having too many decisions. When your mind is forced to constantly choose what to do, when to do it, how to do it, whether it's the right thing, your brain never gets a moment to rest. That's why simple tasks feel heavy. That's why you feel mentally exhausted before you even start. Your mind is tired not because you're weak, but because it's working overtime on things that should already be decided. The solution isn't to think harder. The solution is to think less by designing a routine that eliminates unnecessary decisions. Routines aren't about control. They're about clarity. Most people wake up and just react to their day. They let the world decide how their time is used. They try to wing it, and then they can't understand why they feel overwhelmed. Without a routine, your brain has to choose what to do, choose when to start, choose what to focus on, choose how to respond to interruptions. That constant decision-making builds pressure. With a routine, your brain doesn't have to choose. It simply follows the system you designed. You don't need a perfect schedule. You just need a clear one. Build structure into the moments that matter most. Start with 3 anchors: morning, midday, evening. These are the points in your day that either launch your focus or destroy it. A strong morning anchor should remove chaos. Don't let your day begin with scrolling, reacting, and rushing. Create a simple flow. Wake up, water, quiet moment, or stretch. Choose your top priority. Begin. You're not trying to do 20 things. You're giving your mind direction before the world interrupts it. A midday anchor resets your focus. Take 5 minutes to review. What have I done so far? What still matters? What can I remove? Most people don't need more tasks. They need fewer, done with intention. An evening anchor turns down your mind so you don't carry stress into tomorrow. Instead of letting your brain spin all night, close the day with review. Tomorrow's top tasks: prepare clothes or workspace, shut down screens early, do something relaxing on purpose. Preparation isn't about being rigid. It's about giving your brain permission to rest, limit options to unleash energy. Every option you have to think about drains your clarity. So simplify what your brain needs to decide. Choose what you'll wear the night before. Plan simple meals ahead of time. Block time for focus so distractions don't decide for you. Have a fixed shutdown time so your brain knows the day is done. Structure doesn't limit freedom. Structure creates freedom by protecting your attention. You don't want to spend your life reacting. You want to spend it building something. Add white space to protect your mind. Overthinking also comes from never being mentally still. Your mind needs moments without stimulation. Not scrolling, not multitasking, not background noise, just stillness. Even 5 minutes of quiet can reset an entire day. Protect that space like it's part of the work, because it is. Great thinkers don't think all day. They create space to think clearly. A good routine isn't strict, it's supportive. It doesn't control you. It holds you up. It doesn't overwhelm you. It reduces overwhelm. It doesn't make your life harder. It makes your life lighter. You don't need to organize every second. You just need a repeatable flow that limits decisions and protects your focus. A routine isn't about perfection. It's about lowering the mental noise so you can build a life with clarity, intention, and strength. Create structure for your day so your mind doesn't drown trying to manage it all alone. Everyone loves consistency when progress is obvious. It's easy to stay disciplined when the scale is dropping, the bank balance is growing, or the business is finally paying off. But the real test comes when you do the right things and nothing seems to happen. You eat well and your body doesn't change. You save money and it still looks small. You work on your goals daily and nobody notices. You show up again and again, but life still looks the same. That's where most people quit, not because they're incapable, but because they start believing a lie. Slow progress means no progress. But slow progress is the only kind that lasts. Nothing real grows instantly. Think about anything strong and meaningful. Muscle doesn't grow in one workout. Trees don't grow in one season. Trust isn't built in one conversation. Wealth isn't created in one paycheck. Wisdom doesn't come from one book. Everything powerful grows silently, gradually, beneath the surface, long before you ever see physical results. Just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not happening. Roots grow before branches. Foundations are built before floors. Identity strengthens before outcomes show up. This is the stage where your system is doing its deepest work. You're not failing. You're being tested. When results slow down, your emotions get louder. Doubt shows up. Impatience shows up. Comparison shows up. You start asking yourself, why isn't this working yet? Shouldn't I be farther ahead by now? Maybe I'm not meant for this. But slow results are not proof that you're failing. They're proof that your growth requires more than effort. It requires endurance. Anyone can show up when it's exciting. The real future is built by those who show up when it's quiet. Consistency matters most when it feels pointless. Ironically, how the days when you feel like nothing is changing are usually the days that matter most. Not because they produce instant results, but because they build the kind of person who can handle the results You don't need discipline for easy days. You need it for the boring days, the slow days, the invisible days. That's where champions are made. Not in celebration, but in repetition. The world rewards consistency, but first, it tries to see if you're willing to be consistent without reward. Let patience become your strategy. Most people don't lack potential, they lack patience. They quit before momentum has time to compound. They abandon their system before it can reveal its power. They ask for results too early, long before they're prepared to sustain them. The person who stays with the system long enough always surpasses the person who quits and restarts 100 times. Fast progress is flashy. Slow progress is stable. One fades. One transforms. Your system is working, even if you can't see it yet. Every day you follow through. You're not just building results. You're building identity. You're teaching your brain, I am someone who shows up. I don't need immediate rewards to stay committed. I trust the process more than I fear the delay. Once you become that person, the results are inevitable. They may be slow, but when they arrive, they stay. Because you didn't just chase success, you became someone who's built to keep it. Progress doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like repetition. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like you doing the right thing again and again with no applause. But that's the moment you're growing the most. Stay with the system. Let time do its job. Your quiet effort is building a future you'll be proud to live in. People love to talk about what they want. They write goals in notebooks. They announce plans to their friends. They post big dreams online. And for a moment, it feels like progress. But goals don't change your life. Habidu. A goal is something you hope for. A habit is something you live. A goal is a statement. A habit is proof. Anyone can say they want a healthy body, a strong mind, a thriving business, financial freedom, or peace. But the truth of what you want isn't in your words, it's in your patterns. Your real priorities are revealed by what you repeat, not what you write down. Don't tell people what matters to you. Show them. You don't need to announce your intentions. You don't need to hype up your goals. You don't need to convince yourself or others with motivation speeches. If your actions are aligned, they'll speak loud enough. A person who values fitness doesn't need to say it, you'll see it in their routine. A person who values growth doesn't need to mention it, you'll see it in their behavior. A person who values freedom doesn't need to explain it, you'll see it in how they handle their time, money, and mindset. Your habits are your biography in motion. They tell the story before the results ever show up. Goals exist in the future. Habits exist right now. A goal asks you to wait. A habit asks you to act. You can't control when results will arrive, but you can control what you repeat today. Most people get stuck because they chase outcomes that require habits they haven't built. They want the result before they become the person capable of sustaining it. They want wealth without discipline, strength without consistency, peace without boundaries, confidence without effort. They want to feel like they've arrived without doing what arrival requires. But success isn't something you get, it's something you become, and you become it through repetition. Build identity through consistent action. If you walk into a gym once, you're exercising. If you walk into a gym regularly, you're an athlete. If you save money once, you're saving. If you save consistently, you're an investor. If you speak kindly to yourself once, That's nice. If you do it daily, that's self-respect. Identity is built through repetition. Who you are is shaped by what you repeatedly choose. You don't need stronger goals. You need stronger standards. Standards you live by, even on ordinary days, especially on ordinary days. Let your routine become your voice. Instead of saying, I'm going to start working out, work out today. I'm going to invest today. I'm going to be more focused. Turn off the distractions today. I'm going to become disciplined. Do the hard thing today. The world doesn't trust goals. It trusts consistency, and so should you. Because if you build your life on habits, you don't need motivation to stay in motion. You don't need inspiration to follow through. Your actions take over. Your rhythms carry you. You don't have to feel disciplined. You just have to live like someone who is. You don't need to announce your vision. You don't need applause for your effort. You don't need big speeches about what you're becoming. Just let your habits speak. Let them build your identity. Let them build your future. Let them tell the world who you are without a single word, because when your habits are right, your results become inevitable. Not because you dreamed it, but because you repeated it. You don't rise to the level of what you want. You fall to the level of what you repeat. Your future isn't hiding in motivation. It's hiding in your daily systems. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop trying to fix your whole life overnight. Stop chasing results you haven't built the habits to sustain. Instead, build the system, build the rhythm, build the identity. One small win, one honest action, one day at a time. And when you do it over and over again, you won't need hype. You won't need luck. You won't need permission. You'll wake up one day living inside the future you used to only imagine. Because success doesn't belong to those who dream the loudest. It belongs to those who practice their future every single day. If this message spoke to you, don't just feel inspired. Act. Build your system starting today. Subscribe right now if you want more deep, practical, life-changing mindset training every week. Hit like so more people can break the cycle of goals without systems. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next lesson. And share this video with someone who needs to stop waiting and start building. Welcome to your new identity. Welcome to your new system. Welcome to the life you're finally ready to live on purpose.